There's a number of reasons why I'm not a doctor. Number one, medical school, didn't go. And number two, every nitwit you come in contact with has got a medical problem that they want you to discuss with them off the books.
Just like you've been doing
for
right
nothing.
now.
I got this mole right here. What does that look like to you? Oh, yeah, just like I have been doing with Dr. Schopler right now. He works at SCOE. It's the greatest place in the world. It's a state-of-the-art orthopedic facility over there, and we're lucky to have it in our community. But if you got gym care, it's going to take some time. Hopefully your job doesn't involve gymnastics or law enforcement or something. But we'll because there's a lot of mailing things back and forth. And I'm still in the middle of that. But I'm getting an MRI Saturday morning at 7:48. I kid you not.
Far out.
Kern Radiology got my appointment is at 7:48.
Good.
That's when you know they're wheeling people in and out of there, when the appointment is at 7:48. Any rate, we're back, and we'll talk to Dr. Schopler. We're going to talk about necks and discs and all that stuff. I don't know what it means, Hop, but my neck, every time I do this, it sounds like Rice Krispies.
Then don't do that.
See, that's what a decent doctor would tell you. Just don't do it. But it's all the time. But it doesn't hurt. I don't have any mobility issues. I race motorcycles and cars for about 40 years. I earned whatever that is. And I'm not going to fix it because I'm old and set in my ways. We'll run that past the dock in just a moment. Here's Michael Hopper in the First Look News Desk.
Thank you, Scott. We've got some traffic situations to talk about. First off, northbound 99, everywhere from the base of the Grapevine up through Bakersfield, there have been a number of traffic hazards and accidents, and traffic is backing up just a little bit, so be aware of that. If you're coming off the Grapevine into the San Joaquin Valley, just be aware that traffic is slowing down on the northbound 99 a little bit. Northbound I-5, just north of Laredo Highway, there have been reports of lumber in the roadway. That is causing a difficulty out there near Buttonwillow, so be aware of that. And eastbound 58 at South Union Avenue, there was a traffic accident. Looks like they've got that off on the side of the road, but just be aware if they're trying to tow that vehicle off. This traffic and weather report brought to you by Denim and Diamonds Realty. That's Denim and Diamonds Realty. Your weather today, a high of 94 degrees, low of 69. Into the rest of the week, Thursday and Friday, a high of 97, and Saturday and Sunday, a high of 95. Highs around the South Valley today, Delano and Arvin, 96, Shafter 95, Taft 93, Fraser Park 77, Lake Isabella 91, and Tehachapi a high of 82. And the air quality is going to be in the moderate range at 71, so get out there and breathe it. Stocks at this time, we have mixed returns coming in. The Dow is up 24 points. NASDAQ is down 1 full point. And the S&P is up 1 full point. That's our news desk at this time, Scott.
Thanks, Michael the Hopper. Dr. Stephen Schopler's here from, and I'll say this right now, this SCOE place over there, what is it, on Bahamas?
Bahamas Drive.
This may have been true 15, 20 years ago. I don't know. Everybody always says when you get you need an orthopedist, if you have a knee or a shoulder or whatever injury, that you got to go to L.A. or whatever. That place is I guarantee you that's not true now. That is the most state-of-the-art orthopedic facility. If that place was in Santa Barbara, it wouldn't be any more impressive than it is, and we got it right here in Bakersfield. It's an amazing, and full of great doctors, and they're all really snappy dressers. Dr. Shamblin is a snappy Hamilton, all of you guys. I don't know if you guys hire Armani comes by and whatever, but it seems to be working. So congrats. It's a great facility over there.
Thank you, Scott.
A lot of people work hard to make that. So you need to get close to that microphone so nobody yells at me. And we're going to talk about necks today.
That's right.
Is that something we see a lot of repetitive stress injuries and stuff?
I'm an orthopedic spine specialist, so I will see neck patients in my office every day. It's very common. There's probably about 1 million people in the country affected by cervical spine problems. You've got Rice Krispie neck, which is a fairly common thing.
You've heard that term, but he wasn't even blown away when I said that.
Yeah.
We've seen construction neck. We've seen motor vehicle neck. There's all kinds of problems like that.
Now, the motor vehicle part, that's a real thing. Everybody, when you see those lawsuit collars on people, you always wonder what's up. But if you get smacked just so in your head, because what does a human head weigh?
As much as a bowling ball.
Yeah, and it's sitting on top of a pretty intricate little apparatus your neck is.
Correct.
And if you shove everything except the head forward at a rapid rate of speed, you can cause some damage in there pretty easily. What does that do? When you get whiplash, what is that exactly?
Whiplash is kind of ill-defined. The whiplash injuries are usually just ligamentous and muscular injuries. Most of those get better in about 6 weeks. The things that I treat more aggressively are people that have herniated discs in their neck or arthritic discs in their neck. Some of those people have numbness that radiates down their arms, into their fingertips, into their shoulder blades, and that package of conditions is what I see mostly.
Wow. And what I mean, it seems like I've never really had I've had just racing cars and motorcycles and stuff. I've had minor neck problems, but 3 or 4 days they tend to go away. How long with something like that goes on? What, for a couple of weeks or something? It's time to go see you guys.
About 80% of people that have these kind of problems will get better on their own. Sometimes it takes a couple of weeks. Sometimes it takes a year. But the people that I treat with surgery are those who aren't getting better, or those who have nerve deficits, people who have actually herniated a disc in their neck. It's pressing on the nerve. The nerve causes weakness in the arm, numbness in the arm, or severe pain.
Now, because your spinal there's a lot of information. Everything from your brain that connects to the rest of your body, runs through your neck. That's a pretty serious. You can have a lot of problems with a neck injury.
The commonest ones we see are the arthritic necks. People who've, like yourself, lived a life of bouncing around your bowling ball on top of your cervical spine there. It wears and tears on the discs, and you get arthritic discs in the neck. Most of those people don't need surgery, but some of them do, and some people get acute disc herniations in their neck, such as a bad car accident. A common mechanism in the military is people who have hard landings on an aircraft carrier deck with a helmet on their head, they'll pop the disc in their neck and have a bad herniated disc in their neck.
How do you fix that?
Well, that's a very interesting thing. Historically, we've done an operation called an anterior cervical discectomy, which is done through the front of the neck. You make an incision above the collarbone, approach the spine from the front, and take out the disc from the front of the spine.
You just move the trachea and stuff out of the way and from the you just turn somebody into a Pez dispenser. You did the whole thing, and you
That's
get
a big bowl full of yuck, man.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I'm not with that. I'm gonna be real careful from now on, Doc. I don't want to have to do that.
You'd be surprised. It's a very well-tolerated, bloodless little operation.
Bloodless?
Yes.
Okay, I've seen enough movies. I saw Sweeney Todd, dude. When you chop somebody's neck open, a lot of blood comes out. I watched Game of Thrones.
Now, if you put your finger on your windpipe,
all right,
and push it off to the side a little bit,
yeah,
and push straight back,
yeah,
that hard thing there is your spine.
Serious?
Yeah.
It's right there?
Yeah, it's right there.
Wow. I just learned something scientific there.
So the approach is very simple, quite anatomically easy to do, and most people tolerate it real well.
Yeah, I think what it is we all think of that as being in the back, and there's all this stuff in the front, but that's mostly spine right there.
Right.
How common a thing is that?
Quite common, and we see it all the time. And the historical treatment of this was to take the disc out and then fuse the vertebrae together. You have a spinal fusion in the neck. And that was done by putting in some bone, either from the pelvis or from bone donors in the bone bank. And then you'd put a plate on the vertebrae to hold it together and fuse it. But this is a good time to be a spine surgeon. We now have artificial discs to put in, and I'm very excited about that.
Artificial. Well, you know what? That makes sense, because you could synthesize whatever is in a human body now and make a better one.
It's a metal and plastic disc, you see. It's sort of like...
Is that an actual one, or is that just like a mock-up?
Well, there's a model of one, but it's the real thing. And what you see, instead of doing a fusion now, we put this little sort of like a miniature Oreo between the vertebrae, and where the cookies would be in the Oreo is a metal plate, and where the cream filling stuff in the Oreo would be is a little ball and socket
I appreciate
joint.
you're putting this in cookie form. It really helps me to understand
Got
that.
my attention.
Yeah. At some point, Hop's going to try to eat this, and we're going to...
No, I was just thinking you drop those into a vat of boiling water and you make some soup.
No.
What?
Now, the way this... Oh, wait a minute. How many of these are stacked up?
Well, you got 7 cervical vertebrae.
Okay, but this is a model of what 2 of them...
Correct.
Yeah.
And where that device is there is where the artificial disc goes, where the disc used to be. We take the disc out and decompress the nerves in the spine, and then put that device in. And it has really changed cervical spine surgery, because you don't have to have a fused vertebra in your neck anymore.
Right. Now,
Wow. So that potentially could end up in a human body? I mean, that right what he's got right there?
It's a demo version, but that's
It's a demo
correct,
version,
yes.
but
It's
yeah.
an excellent magnet, I'll say that. How long ago was this let's face it, 20, 30 years ago, if you had a debilitating neck injury, well, sucks for you. You just kind of wrote it out, and But now we can fix stuff now that was unheard of 10 years ago.
This is very innovative surgery. It allows you to make a small incision. The whole incision is about 2 finger breadths across. You can put that artificial disc in, and the patient goes home the same day.
Now, okay, hold on. I don't believe you. Could that be true? Seriously, outpatient spine surgery?
That's correct.
I figured if you're mucking around with something like this, you're flat on your back for 6 to 8 months, but you just fix it and you're done.
The old way, you'd had to wear a collar for several weeks, 2 months, something like that. But with the new artificial disc, you wear a soft collar for a couple weeks and off you go.
But those things that we all had nightmares about as kids, with the big thing with the scaffolding and the things, you don't really do that anymore.
The halos are
Yeah.
kind of a thing of the past. There's still occasions when you use them, but it's a rare occasion.
Still, man, I'm so glad to be living in the era I live in, where we have all this modern technology to do this stuff. That is just extremely impressive. I tell you what, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll look at show people the X-rays. And when you see what is possible in the world now, it really is. It's very. People can recover very quickly from things that you'd have been debilitated for life not that long ago. We're living in amazing times. Thanks, science. We'll be right back. I always point at the monitor when I thank science because it's science. Looking at me. See, look at it. You can see it over there, can't you? It's science. We'll be right back. It's First Look with Scott Cox. It's Bakersfield.com and News Talk 1180 KERN.